Good morning, everyone. So today this is day 5 of the 100 days of coding. Yeah. So the last time we spoke about form, and then we did use an anchor tag for our button, and then we saw different problems we faced. We tried to use a normal button inside the form. It didn't work because what it does automatically is it is designed to submit the form once you place a button inside a form. So once you do something like this, you have a form. Oh, what is okay? So once you have a form like this, now if you place a button inside here, whether it's an input submit or um, it's a button, just a normal button tag. What this guy is designed to do is to submit this form. So later, when we start using JavaScript, we'll see how to handle form submits and how to get data from the form, you know, and all that. But for now, what we did now in our previous tutorial was we just use an anchor tag. So instead of us using a button, we just used a div instead. So we just use a div, and then sorry, we didn't use a div, we just used an anchor tag and then style the anchor tag as a button. Yeah, we just use an anchor tag and then we give it a class, and then we styled it as a button. We remove the underline. Normally on uh, by default, anchor tags are usually underlined, but we removed it, and there are so many things you can do with CSS. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to try to recreate a UI. So we are going to go into Pinterest and we are going to look for a UI. But before then, you can see some folders already that I've already created here. Now, these folders are similar to what you are going to be seeing when you start working with frameworks like React um, and Next.js, and probably if you work with Laravel or maybe any other frameworks, you are going to see things similar to this. It might not be exactly like this, but I just want us to get familiar. I just want us to get familiar with file systems and how to navigate through files. So in here you can see our style. Our style is in public. So basically the public file holds every of your static files. The public folder holds every of your static files here, while this is our source. So our source folders holds our JavaScript. So all our JavaScript code is going to be going into here, but for now it's going to be empty because we are not writing JavaScript here yet. But I just want us to get to understand our file systems here, all the folders here, so we can also as well create a module now deals with database. Yeah, so modules deals with the database. Let's take it out of our public, let's put it direct on our root folder. Yep. So and then you can see here we named this file Hana. um, it's just something that came to my head, so I just named it like that. So inside here we are going to create, inside our public now, we are going to create another folder and call it image. This will be our image folder. So this is where all our image will stay, and then another thing you see is icon. So let's create an icon folder. Icons. So this folder is where our icons will stay. This is where our image will stay. So we are going to try to recreate a UI with just HTML and CSS. So now let's go to Pinterest. Let's dive into Pinterest and let's see what we can do in Pinterest. So let's look for a simple UI that we can recreate. Simple web UI. Okay, simple website design. Let's just see. um, I don't want something too complex, so that I can use it to explain. So now this process is going to take a while. I should have done this even. Okay, let's just see this for beginners. I don't want it to be too advanced, so that you guys can follow along and it does not have too much complicated things. Yeah, I want it to be as simple as possible, and I want us to be able to finish it in this tutorial. I don't want um, a situation whereby we have to maybe okay, I think this guy looks simple. Yeah, it's just your basic navigation bar, and then I think this guy he looks simple to an extent. So let's recreate this. So let's download it first. Let's just download the design. Um, so design is downloaded. Where's this guy here? Okay, interesting. So the design is downloaded. Let's just open it. So these are our design. Let's zoom into it and let's see what we'll be building here. So this is what we'll be building. Um, so the design is very simple. Just it has a background image, it has a nav bar and all that. So this is what we will be building for today. I'm going to try to be as fast as possible and also explain as much as I can, so that we all follow along, and at the end of the day we have this design. So for the logo, we are just going to be using the letter M for the logo. So there's no time to start designing logo for it and all that stuff. So that's just it. We are going to be referring to the design to see how well we can recreate it. So, and then we are not going to be using fancy fonts or anything. So secondly, let's go and look for image. Um, what image do we use now? Let's use house background. I don't even know what to even type now. Office building background. So I need to, yeah. I think we can get a very good image here. For the sake of this guy, I think we should use, I don't know, you can use anyone you like, but I think I like this guy here. So let's just download it. You can right click on it and then save. As well, one thing we can do as well is to use the link directly here, but I want us to insert the image file. I want us to download the image and then get it from our desktop, so that we can run it even when we don't have an internet connection here. um, let's say bg1. Now this is a very bad naming convention here. You want to give your image name a detailed name here. It helps with your SEO when you start building complex applications and real world solutions here. You want to give it a detailed name, so that the search engine crawlers know what you're talking about, knows about the image, and can easily find it and pop it up. Yeah, so this is a very bad naming convention. As we go on, we are going to be coming there to explore more images as well. So for now, let's just go back to our code and start building something. Okay, so we've created our public, our image. So let's open our image folder. Let's also come back here and drag what we downloaded into our image folder. Um, download. This is funny. I can't see why I downloaded them. So wait, let's go back to our browser. I don't even know where I downloaded it. Okay, let me check my documents. Is it saved here? No, it's not. So let's just re-download it again. I can't seem to find where it's hiding. So let's save image, and then now let's take note of where it is downloading to. So let's just put it into our downloads folder. Yeah. So that's just it. So let's give it a BG1 again. BG, that's background one. Like I said, this is a very bad naming convention. This is, I'm using it because download failed. Okay, it didn't download the first time. What's happening? Why is it not downloading? Okay, let's just look for another image and try downloading it. So let's go for this guy. I think this guy has downloaded. Yeah, let's just reduce this guy and then I just drag this guy into our image and then we have our image here. Yeah. So subsequently we are going to be okay. Let's look for our icon as well. I think let's go back to our UI that we are recreating. It has the search icon here. So let's look for an icon that will suit it. So I think Iconify is one place I like to go for icons, except maybe I'm using a theme. Let's say if the UI designer gives like a theme, for sometimes the UI designer specifies that the icons are from a particular set of icons, so you want to, when you are building with a team and you have a UI designer, the UI designer mostly tells you where all your resources are going to come from. Yeah. So let's say sometimes it might tell you, okay, we are using a material UI icons, so you have to use it from material UI. But if I'm building personal projects, I just go to Iconify. Go to Iconify for icons, and then get the icon I need. So I need a search icon. Okay, I'll just get started already. Um, I just go to icons and start looking for icons. Okay, so search. I'll just type in search. spell it. I don't think I spelled that correctly. No. Wow. Okay, so we have different search icons. Let's just look for the one that we would like. I think this guy will do. So you can download the SVG or you can copy the SVG code, but since we already have an icon folder, we just download our SVG, and then as well we just drag it, come to open our VS Code, come here, and then drag it into our icons. Yeah, so it's as simple as this. We have our SVG in our public. So subsequently we are still going to be referring to it. They're still going to be referring to the internet to see what we can gather from there as well. So it's already 16 minutes into the video already, and we've not even started anything. So this is the first file I created already. We have our boilerplate, we have our LinkedIn tag. So let's link our file. um, let's go out of this directory, go into the public directory, go into CSS, and then that's all. So we've linked our CSS file with the our HTML file. So for this guy, let's call in our first syntax, which is our nav. So we're going to call in the nav, and then we'll give it a class of navbar. Navbar, and then inside here we will create a div. So I like to create a separate class to give to define our spacing. So basically if you come here, you realize that there's a space between here and between here, and also if you go down, like if you scroll down, you see that there's space here, there's space. So these are possible. There are different ways you can do it here, but to keep it uniform, I like to define a space. Now personally, I like the nav bar and everything else to be on the same line. So like here now, you can see that the nav bar is bigger, so the nav bar occupies a lot more space, while from here you can see that there's a very even space from here down till the end of the website. You can see to the end of the UI, you can see the space is here, and also if you come here, the space is the same. So what I like to do is to define it. I just create a container class. So let's come here, let's just call this div dot container. So I created a div with the class of container. Yeah, so this container we are going to style it to give it that even space, and then let's call this class nav wrapper. So this is going to be nav wrapper. So this is where all our nav items are going to be inside, and then inside here now we are going to create our first div. This is going to be a logo. So we are going to give it a class of logo. So this is going to be our logo, and then we are going to just put in a capital M here. Like I said, we are not going to do anything crazy here with the logo. So after that we are going to create another div. Nav items, this is going to be the navigation menu. Yeah, it's going to be the navigation menu. Then there's one trick VS Code do. Yeah, if you want to replicate this, but we're not replicating this now. This will be the container for the navigation menu. So this is all for here. And then, sorry, I like to call this nav elements, not live items. I don't know why I call it nav elements. Shall. And then for here we can create a div, we can create whatever you want to create, anchor tags and all that. So you can see it has already popped us with an anchor tag already. So let's just give it an anchor tag of home here, and then let's just replicate it as many times as we want. So let's go back to our UI and see what our UI has. So let's go back up. So we have sample features, layouts, our shop, biting, whatever, and then we have the search icon. Yeah. So let's come back here. So the first guy is sample. I don't know whether UI does not have the you know, what did I just do? Sample. I think the next one is features, right? And then our shop. I think so. And then biting. And then now we have our last div, or should we just use a span? Let's use a span for it, or let's just use a div, no problem. Because we are going to be giving it a separate style dot search. So now we call our image tag. So our source will be dot dot slash. We are telling it to go out of the current directory, go into the public directory, go into icons, and then get search. So that's what we are telling it basically. Yeah. So now all the things we've been doing, let's see how it looks on the browser. So let's just right click, go to open with live server. So now it's supposed to pop up on the browser. Why is it not coming up? Okay. um so this is it here. It opened on my second screen. So this is basically it here. Yeah. Now you can see anchor tag has this in color, it has underline and all that stuff. Yeah, and you can see the rest icons. So now we are going to try to start styling them one after the other. Yeah, so to try and get for the nav elements, there are so many ways you can do nav elements. You can use lists, you can use your list items to also do your nav elements, and then you can use div. Personally, I like using div because it takes and it makes my life easier. um, I can easily style it the way I want. It makes my life easier. You can use lists, you can use your basic nav, your basic anchor tags to do it. So basically each of your div is linking to a particular place. Now the thing is this, even if you use div, you are still going to use your anchor tag because you want your navbar to link to a particular place. So let's try styling it, and then if we run into issues, maybe we'll just change it to div. Personally, before, I've never used anchor tag alone. I've used it with list items, I've used it with div, but being alone, I've never used it. So let's just try it and see what we can do with it. If we can manipulate it, then it makes it even easier. So it just saves us extra line of code instead of us writing div. It just saves us all that stress. So first thing first, let's style our general container. Yep. So let's go to our public. Okay, our CSS is open here already. Let's close this guy, close this guy. So let's just say star. So star means the body is just everything inside the body, and then let's take out the padding. Let's take out the padding from it. Let's take out the margin from it. um, let's give it a let's change the box size to border box. Okay, so let's give it a font family, of I this is the one I like to use. um, Mr. Aria, I like to use this guy always. Okay, so now let's style our container. So like I told you before, I like to use container to give it that even size, that even space, so that it makes it cleaner, it makes your design clean. So here what I'm just going to do here is just give it a margin. Up and down, I'm going to give it 0 pixel, and then for the both sides I'm going to give it 50 pixels. So now wherever I call this container style is going to have that margin. There's going to be the margin there, the margin, um, both sides are going to have even space. Yeah, if you start using CSS frameworks like Bootstrap, Tailwind, you are going to see it automatically, it is defined. Like if you are using Bootstrap, the moment you call container, it has that style already. It just creates that space, that even space at the left and right side of it, so that it makes your work look very clean. Your work is not your design is not going to the edge. And if you want to start to implement the style differently manually, most times if you are building a project that has maybe like 5-10 pages, you have to start specifying every time a particular number of pixel size you want it to have. Now this is just a very easy way to go about that. With this guy now, you've created the style for it. So what you just need to do now is just keep on calling it to wherever you need it, wherever you want the style to be, just call it there. Yep, that's just it. So the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to style our navbar. So let's go to here. Let's just style our navbar now. Remember, we are using class. I don't like using ID. So let's give it a width of 100%. Let's give it a background color of white. What next? Let's give it a padding on the top and bottom. The top should be 5 or let's say 7 pixels deep. Then both sides should just be 0 pixels padding. Yeah, and then now we are done with the navbar itself. So now let's go back to our nav wrapper. So let's style our nav wrapper now. So inside our nav wrapper, we want to display everything as flex. We want to justify the contents to be space. Justify contents space between. Align the items to the center. So that's it for this guy. So now let's see our design. Let's see what we've done so far. So as you can see, our website is coming along. You can see everything here and all that stuff. So let's continue our styling. So now let's style our logo. Now you can see we've not even gone far and we've written so many CSS and all that. This is why it's not advisable to create your style inside your HTML documents, because it gets really plenty. Like you start writing very bulky codes, and when you want to debug, it becomes stressful because you have to start navigating where to debug and all that stuff. But with this, you know where your styles are and you know where your codes are, so you can just go and check and then adjust whatever you need to adjust. So for this guy now, we are going to increase the font size. Font size of let's say 40 pixels. Let's see what 40 pixels gives to us. Okay, I think this is good. 40 pixels is good. Yeah, or let's just make it 35. I think it's a little bit too big. 35. Then let's give it a font style. A font style of let's just see what this guy does to it. I don't know what it is, but what it is. So let's just see what it does to it. Is this good? I think we can manage it. I don't just like it looking like a normal N. Okay, I think we are good with the logo. Now this is just a basic. We are trying to simplify the design as much as possible. Yeah, we are not giving it the ultimate design and all that. If you want to design a real world project, you are going to have a logo. Now most logos are either PNG or JPEG files, so you don't have to worry about designing logo yourself. Whoever you are designing the website for is going to provide you with the logo, or if you know how to design logo as well, you can if you know how to design logo, you can just do it as well yourself and then make your life easier, you know. But most times they are going to provide you with a logo. So now we want to make it display as flex so that our search item can come to the side, and then let's give it a gap, you know. Let's give it a gap of let's just say 3 pixels. Yep. So let's see what we have here. Has it reflected? Yep, so this guy has reflected here already. So now it's time, let's align this guy. Items to the center, and then let's justify it to space between. Space between. So now let's come down and okay, one thing we didn't do was specify styles for each of the elements here. So what we're just gonna do now is just hit here, hold your alt key and then click on every line to select everything here. So that's just it, and then now space class and then we want to call this nav item. Yeah, so these are nav items. Yeah, and then I think we also, okay, we've gotten our nav items, so now let's style our nav items individually. Yeah, so first of all, let's look at what we have already. So there's this text decoration that we don't like, so let's take it out. We don't want it to be blue like that. Anybody that comes know we are using anchor tag. I know. So text decoration should be none. So let's look at what happened to the text now. So as you can see, it's no longer like that. Those underlines that it has with taking it out. So let's change the color. So let's go back to our UI and see what's the color of our UI. So it's just black. Yeah. I don't know these fonts they use for the logo. I would have loved to just try and replicate it. And then let's give this guy black. Let's give it a padding. A padding of top and bottom should be 0, and then left and right should be, let's just say, 5 pixels. So now let's see what we have here. Okay, I think our navbar is coming along really well. Now, one thing I notice is that this space is really small. I don't like this space here. It's really small. So let's increase it to maybe 100 pixels and let's see how it will look. So let's come to our container. You can see we can just style all the space from everywhere from one place. Yeah, we can style all the space just from one place. Now we're already at 37 minutes already. I'm trying to time this tutorial. I don't want it to be too long so that you guys don't get bored. Okay, so now the space is looking beautiful, and now let's work on our search. um, Basically we are not going to add any functionality on the search, but let's just give it a bit more padding. So as you can see, it's even easier to create a nav tag with just your anchor tags. That's just your a tag. That's if you are running on HTML and CSS. Yeah, it's very easy to just create it. As you can see, we've styled it and it looks really good. I was actually afraid that probably it's not going to respond to some styles, but it did, and that's nice. That's really incredible. Yeah, so for that, I think what we are going to be doing next is I think in the next couple of tutorials we are going to be working on this project, because from the look of things we are not going to be able to finish it right now. Yeah, so in the next tutorial we are going to work on the body. So let's just try to finish everything about the nav. So let's look at it here again and let's see what we need to do. Okay, it's not exactly the way they did that, but I think it's also really cool. It's looking cool, but the space is between them, the nav item, the space between the nav item, let's just increase it to 10. I think this will be nice, and then let's work on our search. So let's work on our search. Try to look better as well. Control V, and then here let's just display it as flex as well, so that we can add some additional functionalities. So it should be flex, and then justify to the center. It's just the image, that's the SVG tag. Yeah, so let's just make it be at the center of the div. Let's align it as well to the center. I think that's all for now. Let's see how it looks now. And let's see okay, as you can see now, it's now aligned perfectly to the center, so it's looking really good right now. Yeah, so I think that's all. Let's see. Okay, we've already meet our 40 minutes mark. Remember, we wanted to use 30 minutes, but we realized 30 minutes would not work, so we decided to go for 40 minutes mark. So this is just a basic navigation menu here. Your logo, you have your logo here, you have the menu items here. Now again, this is what we are trying to recreate, and over here the spaces are even. Like, there are some navigation menu that the nav items are in the middle, and then you have all here for your call to actions and all that. But for this design we chose, the spaces are even. So on our next tutorial we are going to try to um, build the remaining of the project. So that is this guy and the remaining part of it here. So that's all for today. I don't want it to be too bulky, I don't want it to be too lengthy, and so that you guys don't get confused or feel reluctant to complete it. Because one thing I notice is the um, if the tutorial is very lengthy, people find it very hard to complete it. Yeah, so I want it to be as short as possible, although this is really not short, but we are going to try to see how fast we can get. And as well, in my defense, actually, I want to try to explain as much as possible so that it does not just look as if I'm performing magic. Yeah, that's it. So thank you guys, thank you all. Today we were able to do the navigation menu and all that. So in the next tutorial we are going to work on the body of the UI. So this is what we'll be recreating in the next tutorial. Now you can also try to recreate it on your own and see how far you can go, or you can pick out a new UI design and then try to recreate it to see what you can do already. Thank you everyone, thank you all, peace out.